Good morning, everyone. We want to welcome you all to Reading 365. I'm Floyd Stokes, and I'm joined by June Brown. We have a treat for you. She's going to be reading, but June is currently self-employed. She's retired from the PA House of Representatives. She worked for Youth Advocate as a director. She's has her consulting company at this point, but we mad at her because she relocated to Florida
And loving it.
and,
I'm loving it.
and loving it. And get this, I was born in June. Her name is June, but she relocated in June.
See, this was a perfect match.
Perfect, June. Thank you. So, what do you have for us to read this morning, please?
So I'm going to be reading my twin sister's book this year. She's the author of this book, Leroy and the Legend. And it's a wonderful story about a boy's homework assignment that teaches him life lessons.
Okay, well, we'll take it away. I can't wait to hear it.
Yes, it's a great book. So, Leroy and the Legend, author Judith Blair Brown, and the illustrator is Randall Pearson. So, let's get started with Mr. Brown. The young boy walked toward the steps of his neighbor's front door. The neighbor, a much older man with thick gray hair, had lost most of his teeth and walked with a slight limp. Upon seeing one another, they both smiled. "Good afternoon, Mr. Brown. How are you today?" the kid said as he walked up the stairs with white teeth gleaming. "Oh, I'm good, Leroy. What brings you by this afternoon?" the old man asked. "Well, Mr. Brown," says Leroy, "I'm perplexed." Mr. Brown chuckled to himself. He loved the way Leroy spoke, often using words that he himself had taught him. He had only taught Leroy the word perplexed the week before. "Perplexed, huh? Well, why don't you come on in and let's sit down and talk about it?" Mr. Brown always enjoyed the banter with young Leroy. "That boy's going to be something one day," he would tell his neighbors, many of whom had little patience with the kid. Ooh, so let's see what he says. For his part, young Leroy was very protective of Mr. Brown. In his own way, when he refused to hang out with his friends so that he could spend the afternoon with the old man, they often teased him. "Seriously? You're hanging out with that old guy?" But Leroy didn't mind. His mother had taught him to treat people with respect, especially the elderly. "We enjoy the fruits of their hard labor," she told Leroy one day. "What does that mean?" he asked. "Well, today we enjoy a lot of rights and privileges that we wouldn't have if not for the older folks who fought for them," she told him. "Besides, it's always good to treat people the way you want to be treated." Very good life lesson there, Mom. And so it was. Leroy and Mr. Brown began a friendship that few others understood. Neither seemed to mind. Leroy felt as if he had gained a grandfather, and since his grandparents lived so far away, Mr. Brown filled that void. And Mr. Brown truly cared for Leroy, a young man who enjoyed listening to his stories and benefiting from his wisdom. As they sat on the sofa, Mr. Brown asked, "So, why are you perplexed, Leroy? And what can I do to help you?" "It's my homework assignment. I don't know what to do about it," Leroy said. "We're supposed to write about a legend, but I don't even know what a legend is." "I see," said Mr. Brown. "Well, give me a moment to think about it." Leroy sat close to Mr. Brown, feeling comfortable in the old man's presence. His eyes were glued to him as he waited patiently to hear what Mr. Brown had to say. "You know, Leroy, I grew up in a neighborhood full of legends." "You did?" the boy asked. "Sure did. But I remember one legend in particular. always carried himself like a real man. You see him dressed nicely for work, not like one of those rippers out there and all that blink. Rappers, Mr. Brown, they're called rappers. And all that gold is bling, not blink. Leroy laughed out loud, rolling onto the floor. He laughed so hard his belly ached. Rippers. Well, whatever you want to call it. Rippers, rappers, blink, bling, whatever. Anyway, let me finish, young man. Oh, that was a good one, Leroy said as he pulled himself together while Mr. Brown continued. So there was this one legend dressed real nice, impeccable. You know what that means? Impeccable? I don't think so. But is it dressing nice? No, it's dressing real nice. But that's not really the point. Don't let them fool you, son. Nice clothes might look good, but they don't make the man. It's what's in the heart of a person that counts: integrity, reliability, trustworthiness. Those are the things that make a man. I don't know what you mean, Leroy said, even more confused. Well, integrity means he believes in something, and he'll fight hard for that belief. Not necessarily with his fists, but with conviction, with his words, with his actions. That's integrity, Leroy. Liability means that you can count on him at all times. When he says something, he means it just as he says it. He won't twist his words to his own satisfaction. You can rely on him at all times, Leroy. Reliability. Trustworthiness means knowing that his word is his bond. He won't lie to you, and every word out of his mouth is true as he knows it to be. You got to be trustworthy if you're going to be a real legend, young man. Wow, that's nice. The kid looked up at the old man and smiled, totally at home while listening to the old man's story. Leroy looked forward to hearing more. Little man, I knew a legend that was so great. Those close to him just wanted to be in his sights at all times. The poor man couldn't get a moment alone, not that he wanted to. He loved those who rallied around him and did whatever was in his power to make them happy and feel safe. Sounds wonderful. Leroy, a real legend, doesn't break any laws, but works with the laws of the land and will challenge it lawfully if it's not right, just right for its citizens. A real legend shows the people how to accomplish good through doing right. He treats the young and the old alike. Isn't that nice, helping that older lady in the parking lot? He never judges a person by the color of his or her skin and isn't impressed by the size of someone's wallet. He loves his community, protects the people in it, and will do everything he can to bring peace when there are disagreements that threaten his neighborhood. He stands up for those who are mistreated by bullies. He doesn't take advantage of women and believes that his one true love deserves all the love he can give to a woman, knowing he chose a worthy soulmate, one who is true and honorable as he is. You see, he makes a wise decision in choosing his lifelong mate. She just might become the mother of his children, so he chooses wisely for the generation that's to come. Wow, well, who is this legend? Leroy stared at the old man for a moment. Then he said in amazement, wow, so that's what a legend is? I don't think I know anyone like that, Mr. Brown. I certainly do, Leroy. Tell me, please, who is this man? What is his name? Leroy begged, eager to know where he could find such a legend. And through a somber whisper, choking back the tears, Mr. Brown said softly, I call him dad. So this book was dedicated to our dad, Leroy Brown, and my wonderful mother, Dorothy.
Wow, what a fantastic book.
That
I,
is,
I'm absolutely speechless because I was playing it in my head. I wonder who that is. You know, the Martin Luther King kinds of folks, right?
yes,
Who is this person that he's been hanging out with, right? So what a pleasant surprise. It's
thank
somebody
you.
we see every single day, our everyday heroes that we overlook sometimes.
Absolutely. Yes. And we have plenty in our neighborhoods,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
deserve to be recognized.
Yes. A pastor, was preaching a sermon once, and he said, if you want to raise world-class children, take them around world-class people. And he talked about exposing his kids to, the doctors and, the lawyers and all of those, right? But then we also, world-class people can be right in our household,
Absolutely.
right in our neighborhood. So there are all kinds of world-class people,
Mm-hmm.
not the ones that have the titles, right? Not just the ones.
Exactly. And
So,
as young children, you don't recognize legends. I mean, little Leroy didn't even know what a legend was.
right,
So growing up, our parents had 9 children. We never felt like we were poor. We never missed out on anything.
right.
Had wonderful friends and beautiful home.
Yes,
And my mother didn't work. My father worked and took
yeah,
care of it. He truly, truly is a legend.
yes, wonderful. There were 9 of you all.
Yes, 9 children. Hmm.
Wow, wow. In this day and age, for to have 9 children, that's a tall order, right?
Absolutely, it really was. And to
Yeah,
maintain everything with the smoothness and, the happiness that we had at home, it was, we had a great upbringing. And it really is because of my father. And the other thing is, we had our grandparents living in the home with us as well. So his parents lived with us. My father, I mean, he was a family man. If family was in need, you come on.
yeah,
Even once we were older and we had moved out of the house, my mom wanted to get a small place, and he told her absolutely not, because if any of my children need to come home, there was always a bedroom for her.
wow,
So
wow.
he
It,
was
it
a family man.
it sounds a lot like the reader yesterday. She's from Puerto Rico. Her father moved in during COVID this summer. He's 94 and she's taking care of him. She's like, this is what we do for
Yes,
our family, you know? And that's
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 right.
just beautiful to see because it's the same thing that we do, me being from Mississippi, you know, go live with some family. We're gonna find a place for you, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And it builds that family bond.
It does.
I mean, the relationship that I had the greatest grandparents ever.
Yeah.
My mother's parents passed away, so we didn't have that side. But
Yes.
my father's side, and there's a lot of history, from my grandmother was half Indian and half Irish. So learning those cultures was
Yes.
wonderful. And if we didn't live together, I probably wouldn't have as close of
Yeah.
a relationship as we did.
Yeah. Before we go too far, you have a daycare that's logged in, tuned in. What's the name of that daycare that's listening?
Little Blessings Daycare, Harrisburg, PA. Yay, Little
Yeah.
Blessings. Hi, kids. I miss you guys.
And all you giving greetings all the way from Florida.
Yes, absolutely. From Florida.
Wonderful. Well, you sent us some of that sunshine. It is so bright out there today. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. It's always bright here. I love it.
Oh yeah, beautiful, beautiful. The other thing, that book, your sister did a fantastic job writing that book.
She
You know,
really
she she introduced vocabulary, and integrity, reliability, those and so many more. And why did she write? It's hard to get a book published.
Hmm.
What made her put that story, you know, in print?
Well, first of all, she truly believes in educating young people.
Mm,
And her she has a daughter, and when her daughter was, well, she's an adult now, but when her daughter was about, I think she said 4 years old, she came in and said um, something to the fact of, Mom, I'm feeling um, things are complicated. That's what she said. Mom, things are complicated.
mhm.
And she was like, how did she know this word? And so she realized she speaks to her with a vocabulary that helps
Yes,
her to learn. And
priceless.
so,
Yeah,
yeah, so she wanted to put together a book, a children's book that helps them to want to learn more vocabulary. And
beautiful.
when I first read the book, I said to her, I don't know if this is the right book for the age group, kindergarten to second grade. And she said, oh, absolutely, this is a time. This is
Yes,
a time for them to learn these words. And if they
yes,
don't understand it, then it's a time for teachers and parents to say, let me explain what this means so that
yes.
they do understand. And
Good for
once I
her for
talked with
doing.
her about it, I'm sorry.
Good for her for doing that. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And so once I talked to her about it, I thought she's absolutely right. We do have to encourage the brain to be more active and to want to learn more instead
Yes.
of just the small words for especially first and second grade.
Yes. Yes. And well, studies show that, children from low income household are exposed to less vocabulary than children from middle and upper income to the tune of about 30,000 words. I think like say by age 5,
Hmm.
and it's a big predictor on their success in school, you know.
Yes, yes.
So it's good. Don't talk to children, like they're little babies. You have
Hmm.
regular conversation, expose them to those vocabulary words, and build their vocabulary so that when they're reading it, they will understand what they mean. And it makes
Yes,
a really, really big difference.
yes. And that's one of the things when I raised my children, the goo goo gaga words were not permitted. You had to
No,
use
right,
words
right.
to help them to understand. So I
Yes,
think this story is really perfect and relevant for, she actually says in the write up of the book, it's really a book she would like to have fathers sit and read to their sons.
it's perfect.
So,
Yes,
yes. So
yeah,
that the fathers can help the young men to see what they need to aspire to. And
yes. Well,
that's
there's
good.
so much meat in that book, so many life lessons, the whole treat people the way that you'd want to be treated kinds of stuff. There's so many life lessons. She packed it all in that book. And
She
that was
did. She
beautiful to
really
see.
did. And
Yeah.
I am so proud of her. And actually, I talked to her the other day. It says on the back, this is a series. She's actually writing her second book. So
Wow.
I told her as soon as she gets, I mean, you can see I use it a lot because it's got a little wear and tear on it, you
Beautiful.
know.
Beautiful. Awesome. And rightfully so.
Absolutely.
So are you all identical twins or fraternal?
We're fraternal twins.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. We
But I'm sure you all, can you tell me one of those twin connection kind of moments that you've had, growing up?
well, we've had a lot,
Yeah.
but I think just recently, I think the most impactful was my sister became ill
Mm,
and she went into a coma for 5 days. And
sorry to
for the
hear that.
first time in my life, I felt totally isolated. And I
Mm,
sat by her bed for 5 days.
wow.
And I told my one sister, I said, I wish you would just sit up and fuss at me because, sometimes we go at. And she said, I wish you would sit up and fuss at me.
Yes.
And when she woke up, the doctor said she can't, speak right away. So I'm telling her be calm and everything. And so for her first words were, I was telling you to shut up. And then when she found out I sat by her bed for 5 days, and she cried, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean it. But yeah, so the connection is definitely there. It really is. And I
Yeah.
felt it so much during that time.
Yeah.
But and now that we're separated, she's in PA and I'm in Florida. We talk every day on the phone. You know, she always says, I'm calling with my daily check in. She's a wonderful, wonderful sister. All my sisters are, you know.
Wonderful.
Matter of fact, we call ourselves Lad because we are Leroy and Dorothy's daughters. So that's
Beautiful.
we have
Nice.
a great relationship. And my
Uh,
brothers too.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, we're all close.
Yeah. Wonderful. Well,
Mm.
what a wonderful story there. I'm glad that she's doing better. She's out of the coma and all that. That's beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, wonderful. Well, June, thank you so much for sharing your time, taking time out of your busy schedule there in Florida. Uh,
Well, thank you so much for having me. This was a wonderful opportunity, and I love the work that you do. I've saw some of the. I went online and looked at some of the interviews that you had, and very wonderful concept. So thank you so much for doing what you do.
and we just thank you for adding to this resource, and people will be logging on even after this live session and just going on, to see, and hear your book being read and shared. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Don't let this be your last time.
Oh no, I would love to come back and read some more, especially when that book two comes out.
Yes, yes, but we won't wait for that one, but we'll definitely look forward to
Okay,
it.
sounds good.
And
All right. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Thank you for joining us on Reading 365. We're here every single day at 11 o'clock, reading until September 30th, 2021. So please join us. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.